We are here with Justina Brown, a singer from Nigeria, and she will release her new album the 28th of September. It's called The Lost Child. Let's get straight into it. So, hi, Justina.
Hi,
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your musical career and your new album. Tell me, who are you and how did you get into the music? Tell me.
Okay, I am Justina Ogunlolu, known here in Europe as Justina Lee Brown, a soul, blues, funky, Afro singer. My career as a singer started in a very crazy way. Music for me was a survival tool because growing up from a very humble background, I don't want to call it poor, like people say. So I'm one of those children back in Africa who was born with nothing. We had no home. My mother was a teenage mother, so she had to raise me almost 8 years to 9 years on the streets by herself. So she had no help from both sides of the family. And so we grew up, me and her, on the streets of Ajegule in Lagos, Nigeria. So survival time, and I see the struggles in my mother's eyes, how she had to do different things to just keep me going and keep us going. So in that process, I wanted to help her. So being a child was nothing for me. I just wanted to grow up and be strong and save my mother from this whole poverty and this whole stress she had to go through, because I felt guilty that it was because of me she had to go through life this way. So music started in the process of why she's hawking water on the street. We call it ice water. In the street of Udo is the market in Lagos, and waiting behind for her to go sell these waters, I discovered music. I started to sing. I heard that there was something called the voice. I didn't know what it was called, but something melodic was coming out of my mouth. I was singing and playing around with the plastic bottles and all of that. And people just passed by and stopped and tipped me. They thought I was boxing. They thought I was begging for money or something. So they started giving me money from there. And sometimes I have this money and my mother finds out this money. She says, "Where do you get this money from?" I said, "People gave me." She's scared maybe I stole it or something. And she says, "Don't steal, because stealing in the ghetto or in the slums, you could get killed for that, even if it's a penny, you know?" So that's how music started. From there, I discovered that, oh, there's something inside of me that when I open my mouth, it makes people happy and smile. So I started to discover that. Then before you know it, I got involved in the choir at the church and all of that. So that's history. The rest is history.
Yeah, so what does music then mean for you? It's not only melody, it's a survival tool, you said.
Yeah, music is a survival tool. That was the first introduction to music. And I saw that it was able to give me money and to be able to take my family out of poverty. So from there, I started to love it. I started to feel safe with it, because I was insecure all my life, not having security in all shades, in all aspects. So music became my shield and became security for me. A way when I'm lonely, because I was always a lonely child. I was lonely all my life. And music was my companion. Music was my refuge. Music was my blanket to keep me warm and to keep me in peace.
And all your family as well.
And all my family as well, exactly.
But it's difficult to go out from Nigeria to Europe when you're living in the streets. How did you manage that?
Everybody wants to know that story, because it's a miracle. I would say maybe I'm one of those miracle child, and I think I'm a blessed child, and I give God the glory for that, because many people who grew up in the slum like I did, they didn't come out good. Most of my friends, I lost contact. Some of them got killed because the poverty made a lot of the boys went into robbery, into bad gangs and all of that, and they lost their lives in the process. And some girls got into prostitution. Some had to marry because they needed somebody to help them. And some of them became mothers at early age, and now they have tons of children. So it's most of the people I grew up with is a broken life. But me, music just kept me straight. And my mother, I have to give the credit to her, because she's a Christian woman, and she makes sure that I was a born-again Christian right from a childhood, even though I didn't understand what that is. But growing up now, I appreciate that she was strong with religion with me. And so how I got out of the ghetto and out of slum was just following the part of music. So like I started with slowly there, and I went to the choir. From the choir, I met my choir master. And from there, he took me to the studio one time, and I sang with some did backends for famous people back then in my country. And before you know, one of my choir master's friend, his name is Philip. That's the guy who took me to the music business completely.
Okay.
Even when everybody around was abusing me, he never did. His name is Philip, and we call him Oza. So he became my big brother. So he took me to a band and said, I have a band with young friends I just put together. Let's start this. And it's so emotional now because for 15 years, I didn't talk to none of them. And I spoke to them just a few days ago. And they are all doing okay. So these were my brothers. I was about 14, 13 at that age, but they didn't know because I acted like I was 17 and 18. So they can accept me in the band and all of that. So yeah, so Philip was older, but he protected me. And I met all my brothers, Ola, Chigo, all of them. And we started music. Young musicians, we're all young. They were like 3-4 years older than me, or 2 years in between me. And we just started music, live music in a local clubs. We played different local clubs in Lagos. And from there, people started to notice me. And then every band wanted me on their band. I didn't even know the power of what I had. So I started from the street to the choir to the churches. And churches was not protecting me because they promised to send me to school to give me a better life because we had no place where we were sleeping. So sometimes we sleep in the church. Sometimes we need money from the church to be able to eat. So when I saw that the church was just using me to do the concerts in the churches and just use me to show off, not really helping me to fix my life, send me to school. So I had to go out to help my mother. So I started with the studio and with my friend who took me to the clubs to start singing with my first band.
And then you reached Europe.
Yes, from the band,
from
one left. I started playing with all bands. And from there, everybody wanted me on their project. So it started like that. Before you know it, at the age of 19, 20, 21, I had a big hit in West Africa, in my country, and it was successful. I released a couple of singles. It didn't work, but then one hit, and that was it. And it extended for like 2-3 years. And that song brought me to Europe. And I met a German guy. Actually, it was a German guy who brought me to Europe. So he came first time to my country, and he was in my concert. His driver told him, there's a girl, there's a place with live music, you have to go. And he came and he just saw me, love at first sight. His first hours in Lagos, and he's meeting this young Nigerian crazy singer in a club, crazy club with energy. And that's how we clicked and we exchanged a number. And it all became history. That's how I came to Switzerland. And before you know it, my music did the rest of the work.
Well, you have an incredible voice. It's unbelievable. So you began to sing with gospel and stuff like that. But today you're doing more like soul and blues funk. And how do you compose your songs? How do you go about it?
It's crazy how the songs come. They just come. Like my music are from experiences because I'm a very emotional person. So I don't just think about songs to write. I never think of any of my songs you heard me perform. I never thought about it. It comes, it's a gift. Like I would just, how I'm feeling, like Lost Child, the new album, I was back in Nigeria and I felt lost and it just came. I was just crying in my bed. Before you know it, the melody starts to come. I'm here still wondering where I belong. That's how it starts. And that's how my songs come. Then if I feel like, oh, this touched me, then I pick up my phone and record it and make sure that I save it so maybe I don't forget it. So songs come like that. The melody, lyrics, they all come at the same time. It's crazy.
Okay, but so what is more important for you? Are the lyrics more important?
The lyrics are very important for me.
Or more the music?
The music, the both, but the lyrics is more strong for me because the lyrics is the message I'm giving. So the melody is the emotion. So both together is important for me. But what comes is always they come at the same time. I've never written a song where the melody comes first and the lyrics comes later. So they always come at the same time. As I'm singing the lyrics out, the melody is behind it. And then only what I need to fix later is maybe, okay, if I want to change this part of the lyrics or whatever. But the idea, the lyrics, the message, it all comes at the same time.
Also hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Okay. Well, you had a strong life and a hard life. And you have your own foundation that takes care of children in the streets of Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
What do you recommend young aspiring musicians in order to make a living from music?
Just be yourself. Like, that's what I would say. Whenever I'm back home, anywhere I go, I meet young people who thinks, oh, I want to be a musician. Justina, what did you do? I didn't do nothing. I just followed my part. Like, I followed my heartbeat and I followed my spirit, you know? So don't try to be somebody else. Find your inner self and be who you are. But I know sometimes it's hard to find who you are. It needs time. Like me, I'm still, you see, I'm a lost child and I'm still finding myself. But finally, hallelujah, I found myself through my music. So, but the first thing is, what is your heart saying to you? And why do you want to do music? Is it because you think everybody is doing it? Or is it because I actually didn't want to be a singer? I want to go to school. I want to be a lawyer. But because of poverty, and I saw that being a lawyer, I need to go to university. And even we didn't even have food to eat. So who's going to send me to university? So music was, that's why I say it's a survival tool for me. And then I realized, oh, actually, this is who I am. A singer, and then maybe one day, I don't know, gonna be that lawyer maybe, if I have the patience to study, which I'm not sure. But let's see how life goes. You never know. You never know. You know. So, but I would say, as a young musician, as a young person, finding your way in this life, just look into your heart and don't follow what the social media is saying. Because the social media today, there's a lot of crazy influences. People trying to influence. They don't even have their life fixed, but they're trying to teach what they don't know. So the best way to teach yourself is, how does your heart beat? Does it beat to this rhythm? Does it beat to that rhythm? And when it beats to the rhythm, please go with that rhythm. And please let it be a positive rhythm, not negative rhythms. Because today some people heartbeats to crazy negative rhythm and they want to go there. Don't go there, come back, because there's always two heartbeats. The one is a good one, is the positive one. So I would say follow your heartbeat and be yourself, and the universe will guide you.
But I think, I don't know, you said you are gifted. Can anyone go into music, or do you have to be gifted to go into music?
In my time growing up as a singer, you have to be gifted. But today, a bricklayer can be a musician because technology has changed everything.
But music comes from the heart.
From the heart. But today, look at people who is filling up the stadiums. It's not the music from the heart. It's music that you just move your... People want to forget their sorrows today. People want to let go. So they don't care about emotions anymore. And this is so sad because we are emotional people. And with emotions, we can learn to tolerate and be together and love and go in one unity and harmony part, you know? But when there's no emotion, I wouldn't care about you. I would just be selfish and self-centered and only care about myself. But it's so sad that's the direction people are going today. So that's why I say a bricklayer can be a musician today, because you have all these technologies, you have all these things. You can just press dun, 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 and there's a beat, dun, dun, dun. And before you know, you're singing and it's a hit. That's what the radio want to play. That's but that's, I don't know what to call that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you need a message. You need a message.
But today people are not giving messages. So we're losing the part, I think, is also the fault of the church. I would blame it on the religion thing, because the religion has manipulated the people too much and too long. So people lose faith. You know, if we had used religion in a right direction, so maybe people won't lose faith in messages anymore. So because of religion has failed us, and many governments has failed us, like my country, our government has failed us over since before I was born. You know, so this way religion came in to manipulate the people, and now people have lost faith in God, in universe, in the creator. So now they look for somewhere they can fade away, somewhere they can just not think and not be emotional, just exist. So that way, that's why there's no more message in music, most of the music. But there's some good musicians.
Yeah, there are some good
There's still great musicians, and I'm grateful to those great musicians because we need more of them.
Yeah.
But
and you learned from them.
Yeah, but not most of them is filling up the places. Not most of them is having the chance to be what they should be.
Well, soon your new album, Lost Child, will be released.
Yeah.
What does this album mean to you? And what makes it different to the previous album, Black and White Feeling?
You know, I've worked on, I think this, if I have to count, this will be like my 7th album or the 6th album. Now I lost count. But I call it the 2nd album because the previous album, Black and White Feeling, was it's a time to start to truly speak my truth and go my way. Because my previous album is just trying to show myself as an artist and trying to look for where I belong and what is going on with music. Okay, in my country, I became successful with Afrobeat. That's what is making waves now in Africa. We started it. I'm one of the people who started that Afrobeat thing. But I left it because the politics and too many things. When you get to the top, you see how dirty it can be. So, and I was not strong enough, and I had something, emotion, feeling. I'm a woman with a heart. So I couldn't deal with that, so I left it. So my previous album was to release myself from every pain I was carrying, from every secrets and every wounds that was given to me, every bullet that was shot to me, and every anger that was inside of me. So Black and White Feeling was to release that anger and start to heal. And thanks to Corona, because Corona also helped me through that. Because if Corona didn't happen, I was always touring. And touring was just to keep moving because the stage is my peaceful place. But when I'm out of the stage, I'm a very vulnerable person. So Corona made me extremely vulnerable. I have nowhere to run to. I have not the stage to go to. So I'm inside my room and by myself. So I have to heal. I have no choice but to heal. So Black and White Feeling was that process to heal. And this new album, Lost Child, it is the healing.
Okay. Okay.
By the grace of God, I am healed.
Okay. What kind of music is that? Tell me.
So it's like, you know, I'm a crazy girl. I sing from, you're my bass player. So you know that.
I want to hear it from you.
So you know how crazy I can sweep from jazz to blues to funk to Afrobeat to this, that.
Yeah.
So all this genre of music is inside of my soul.
Yeah, it's a great album. It's a great album.
Thank you. So sometimes I try to be good, to be Justina, just calm down and do what the people want to hear. So now I found myself, and which is a place where I love, in the soul blues funk scene. And you know how I always put it with my fusion of Afro. My roots can never go away. I carry it. It's who I am. I'm an African Nigerian woman. So a Lagos girl, for that matter. So you can't take that
away.
For me, never. Even though I've spent more than 17 years in the Western world, and I'm still an African woman. So this new album is a mixture of soul blues, funk with Afrofusion. And for the first time, introducing my jazzy side to my record with a twist, a little salt, spice of jazz. So
Okay, hey, where can you be heard, and how does your near future look like?
Touring.
Touring, huh?
Yeah, sharing this message.
You have a new booker?
Yes.
Two new bookers. In Germany?
Arel, I have On the Road Again is my agency in France, On the Road Again, and Into Music, my agency here in Switzerland, and Andre from Germany, and a couple of people coming on board to work with me, and I'm grateful for that. So we're really going to be touring, me and you. Yeah, we're going to get tired of each other, hopefully.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're going to be on the road, and and also the music. You can find it if you're not able to catch us on tour or somewhere in the world, by the grace of God, you can go on these crazy social media platforms, which like iTunes and Spotify and whatever, Facebook, Instagram, to see what we're doing and to listen to the songs.
Or buy a CD on your homepage.
On my homepage, yes. You buy the album if you want the hard copy.
With a signature.
With a signature, that's right. The hard copy from my website, justinaleebrown.com.
So, next week is the day.
Yes. 1 week to go.
Wednesday, huh?
Thursday.
Thursday, yes. So, if someone wants to see Justina live presenting her new album, hey, you're very, very welcome. You can buy a ticket at her homepage.
Yeah.
Or by Eventfrog.
Yes.
As well. Or it's possible to come directly.
Yeah, you can come directly and buy at the entrance at the North
It will
Hotel.
be a big party with a lot of people and an evening full of emotions, music, and groove, steady groove.
Yeah.
So, hey, Justina, thank you very much for answering this
Thank
questions.
you. It's so great that you can interview me, and it makes it more special and beautiful to be interviewed by my personal friend.
Very, very good. Hey, thank you very much. And I'm very happy and grateful that I'm a friend of yours. And, can play
you are a
your
good friend.
music.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for putting your heart to the record as well.
Yeah.
Tom Vestein is the bass player. So.
Well, hey, thank you, and I hope you guys see you soon and at one of our concerts or a concert from Justina, because I'm not always there.
Yes,
because you have
different programs.
duo gigs and then trio, and she's a featured artist in various bands as well. Huh?
Yeah.
So blues, jazz, everywhere.
Yeah.
So hey, one last word you want to say?
I want to say thank you, Tom Vestein. Thank you for doing this, and thank you to everybody who has been supporting Justina Lee Brown, and thank you to Nick, thank you to the whole band, thank you to the organizers and everything, all the Blue Society, everybody who's been involved. Thank you to Baden, oh my God, for their love and everything. So Lost Child, the album is ready and is out, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So peace and love.